lineman Mekhi Wingo, if you've got questions for Mekhi.
Could you walk us through what you were seeing on that interception return for touchdown?
I mean, honestly, I seen the quarterback about to roll out, so I basically was about to overlap and try to get him. Then Trajan Jeffco just tipped the ball when he passed it, and it was right there. And, I always say I'm a running back at heart, so that was my chance right there.
Did you ever score a touchdown in high school or anything?
I did on freshman, but when I got to, playing varsity, I didn't. But, that was always a goal. My Coach Steeps wouldn't put me at running back.
Did you remember what it felt like? Did it feel familiar, or was it a new feeling when you scored?
I mean, yeah, all D linemen. I wasn't a D lineman my whole life. I played a little running back in JFL and stuff. So, it was a good feeling to get back in the end zone.
What was that like being able to, celebrate with fans after the play?
It was amazing. Just especially being able to celebrate with my teammates, and especially when it was a play where it was caused by another teammate. It just felt amazing. We were clicking on all cylinders, and yeah.
Mekhi, can you just, now that it's happened, can you describe what this past week was like for you and the defensive players with the change in the coach and just the intensity of practice?
We got a group of a lot of older guys, so they just kept us all together. They've been through the business part of this, a few times. So, they just really was keeping my head straight and a few of the other younger guys. And, we just had a really hard week of practice. The last week wasn't really the result we wanted, and we just knew we had to come out and compete. And, if we practice better, we play better.
Can you just describe what it's like to play for Al Davis, now your new coach?
I love Coach Al, he was around already, and it's just he catered to me. He's a player's coach, so we're going to work hard. He's going to give you your rest and basically just put us in position to win.
Chris Abrams had the fumble recovery and interception. Just how much energy does he give you guys on defense?
KD, man, that boy, he a GOAT. I call him Jalen Ramsey every time I see him. I don't even call him KD. So, yeah, he brings a spark of energy every week, whether it be the kick return on Tennessee, the interception against SEMO. He makes spectacular plays all the time. I love playing with him.
Mekhi, you've gotten consistent playing time throughout the year. How have you seen yourself grow since the Central Michigan game?
I would say just touching up on my pre-snap reads, being able to pick up on things that I wasn't at first, like just going out there playing like it's high school, just playing straight. You want to see where the running back is aligned and little things like that make you a better football player.
Mekhi, we mentioned the turnovers. You also had 10 tackles for loss and 3 sacks. How do negative plays like that, how does that help a defense and, maybe cover up for, when the other team's able to get a few first downs?
We've been struggling stopping the run a little bit, and when you get negative plays on first and second down, it forces a team to pass on third. So when a team's going to pass, it makes it a lot easier for the DBs, linebackers, and the D-line.
Okay, did Coach Davis have any message for you guys going into this game that resonated with you personally?
We just got to dominate and play fast. Mainly play fast. That's what he wanted to tell us. Get vertical and play fast.
Did today's performance feel better than it had in previous weeks? Just kind of getting to the quarterback more?
Yeah, it did. It felt like we were clicking, we were playing off each other more this week, not just playing for ourselves. I'll say over the past few days, defense, we just got closer. We've been bonding more. We just knew we had to figure it out, and hopefully this is a step in the right direction.
How much did, I saw you guys went out, for a wing night, as a defensive line. How much did that help with that chemistry and actually going into today?
That's big for us, just being around each other. Being away from football, just getting to know each other more off the field. That's kind of we were missing as a defense, and we're getting to it now.
So that was something new, like something that you guys probably hadn't done?
No, usually before game days, the D-line, we all get together and have pizza and wings. But, with the new coach, he wanted to take us out, thing like that.
Getting into sort of the thick of the SEC schedule over these next 6 games, how did today, as sort of the first game that you guys have held an opponent to under 200 rushing yards since week 1, how did it just build your confidence going into the second half of the season?
It felt good. We capable of doing it, and we know that, but we just got to put it on film, you know what I'm saying?
I've heard that Coach Davis is pretty intent on watching film as a former defensive analyst. Have you spent any more time watching film with him this week? Has that been an increase in that?
Yes, that's the thing he made a big emphasis on, not just watching film by ourselves, but getting in with him and getting corrections on practice and watching game film with him in the room. That's a big thing that he preaches.
Anything else for Mekhi? All right, we'll be right back.
Appreciate you all.
Thank